June 2023 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, this is your reading for the month ahead. It's Romy. Thank you so much for taking the time to tune in and support my work. We're going to open up this month with the energy of the Chariot. And you do have this beautiful like mini rebirth taking place. Gemini season, of course, is your 8th house energy, of which you're the natural ruler. And so this midpoint of the year, along with Solstice, celebrates like this dance between the light and the dark, the duality within you and the circumstances around you. And the Chariot is really indicative of your readiness to move forward. And in fact, this month I do see you being able to gain control over a situation, and that bringing about some beautiful clarity that really helps you to know what to do. I think as part of that, you are going to be shattering some self-denial and perhaps areas that you've been avoiding for some time, because I think you're just ready to face something through the month of June. We open up on the 2nd with Venus trining Neptune and fellow water signs, and this is a really beautiful kind of healing energy to prepare and set you up for the Sagittarius full moon that's going to come in on the 3rd and the 4th at 13 degrees. Now, this full moon is trining with Mars. There's a tremendous amount of passion and focus coming through here to take something and really drive it home, take it all the way. And that Chariot is showing me that you have the dedication and the desire to make that happen. Now, of course, it lights up that 2nd house for you. So there's going to be some focus and emphasis around what's happening in your prosperity, your money story, your finances, and the way that you're valuing yourself, and some of the shifts and changes, like perhaps how you need to create more space in your life to dedicate and put emphasis around things that are important to you and that you also see can help you feel more secure, perhaps bring in new streams of abundance. So these new horizons that full moon in Sagittarius will open up are really helping to, I think, reconcile for you this sense of feeling grounded and being able to get on with some of the practical acts that are necessary, but at the same time kind of marry this with the continuing opening sense of higher spiritual truth and the nature of which you want to kind of start living a more conscious-led life, and we'll be exploring that a lot more, of course, in 9th house energy during Cancer season. Now, the other big noteworthy shift this month, of course, is right after that full moon, Venus is going to move into Leo. So more passion, and this heralds in our relationships, big gestures, sometimes a little drama, but all heart and this flirtatious energy that's beautiful to work with. Of course, in your 10th house, there might be some things going on connected into your career that are noteworthy. Now, Page of Water is telling me that, the communication and the desire that you have to want to feel a deeper sense of intimacy, of commitment, devotion, bonding, themes of loyalty all coming up. And you'll really reflect, I think, with this transit on where you felt too entangled, too restrictive with certain situations, and where you're ready to, in fact, draw closer. Now, the thing that we need to keep in mind, word to the wise, is Venus is going to go retrograde in Leo in July. And so we're going to have the shadow energy coming in from the 19th. Now, what that means is that, whatever is thrown up through the 5th to the 19th, or really to the end of June, first part of July, you're going to be revisiting in the weeks to come. Now, sometimes these retrogrades can be a bit problematic and we can feel like we've overextended or we've overcommitted, and especially with Leo where we want to make big gestures. Now, because it's highlighting in that 10th house, just make sure if there's anything you're financially investing in, particularly connected into your work, your business, your career, that you really think through how that supports you, not just here and now, but down the line. Because not only do we have that Venus retrograde shadow looming, we're also going to see Saturn going retrograde on the 17th. And here there's, the demand of us to revisit our commitments, review our boundaries, and sort of everything feeling like it's slowing down a little bit to ensure that we make, the best possible decisions and really support the right foundations to be able to build something meaningful. But the Emperor sometimes can come in with a little bit of a restrictive, authoritative energy, helping you, in some ways kind of get a grasp and get control. As we said, we definitely see that coming through for you. but also sometimes put those blocks in your way. And if you're coming at situations initially with that Page of Water, there's a slight naivety or a sense of kind of feeling like everything's fine or it's moving in one direction, and then all of a sudden like feeling like you come up against what feels like an insurmountable mountain or object in your way. Now, what I do want to share with you is that, you know, on that Saturn retrograde, we also have the new moon in Gemini. So we get to set our intentions and kind of have a beautiful burst of energy to actually feel into some interesting new solutions, new ideas and inspirations. And that will be helpful. But I see you a little bit on tenterhooks with something through the course of that first part of June. I just want to say to you, it will be okay. I also want to remind you on the 19th, after that new moon energy, Jupiter will sextile to Saturn. And here we have the strength to overcome. We have an ability to just have this wherewithal and being able to kind of access and tap into the energy that we need to power forward. Now, of course, remember, Saturn shifting retrograde is in your 4th house, so there might be something really close to home that, you know, again, you haven't been ready to face, but now we're having to look at that and address it specifically from, you know, these boundaries, and, you know, just making sure that the way you've been approaching something is really for your highest good path and purpose, okay? We'll also have Pluto shifting back into the sign of Capricorn on the 11th of the month. At the same day, Mercury is going to move into Gemini. Now, it's natural ruler, planet of communication. This is supportive because it does enable you to share what's on your mind and almost more eloquently be able to negotiate, be able to challenge, be able to just debate and discuss. Now, the Hanged Man tells me that there is going to be a situation where you're going to have to look at lots of different alternate approaches. Some of them are going to feel incredibly unconventional, a little bit unorthodox, and you'll have to get your head wrapped around something. Or perhaps you're the one that's expressing that and someone around you or close to you has to get on board with what it is that you are now announcing or sharing will be. Now, of course, the Hanged Man is inviting a sense of surrender, and as we approach the 21st, we've got this beautiful lineup for Solstice. Sun comes into Cancer. The asteroid goddess Ceres is moving into the sign of Libra. We also have Mercury sextiling with Mars, making a beautiful harmonious aspect. And so this day, really auspicious and, you know, such a beautiful time to celebrate, acknowledge where you've got to, allow this sense of release to take place and access these higher spiritual truths. And especially as this moves then into your 9th house, as you broaden your horizons and you really have this opportunity to reflect on how much you've changed and what you now are exploring, what's making you curious. You're very hungry and very ready for the next level of something, which means that some teachers, some places that you've been receiving information or guidance or teachings will also need to be expanded. It's like you're ready for, the graduation to kind of like, okay, what comes beyond this? And you got to give yourself permission to sort of allow for that change, that expansion to happen. I think you're also going to be super ready this month to open yourself up to a new experience, which feels incredibly exciting, quite playful actually. Now, when the impulse hits, you're going to have to act, because if you try to overthink it too much, Scorpio, you're going to miss like this incredibly beautiful synchronicity that's lining up and perhaps has been waiting in the wings for some time. Temperance suggests here that, as you come into a deeper sense of balance within yourself, then areas of your life are then sort of catching up in the right order that they're meant to be. And June is somewhat of a course correct mini adjustment, and not with the intensity that we've certainly just gone through. And I'm sure that many of you are still really coming to terms with what the revelations of that eclipse brought up for you and the kind of finality and the closure of that. So June will feel, with that Chariot energy and the Page of Water, like a more intuitive, lighter but necessary kind of knowing within you about what you have to take on and how you're going to be approaching it. Okay, but remember what I said, it still feels like this continuous dance between the light and the dark and the duality. So you will be confronted with some conflicting emotions, you know, especially in regards to some of the relationships in your world, the stage that things are at for some different aspects of what you have going on, perhaps some frustration that's arriving and bubbling up to the surface because of that. But also at the same time, solstice, like really bearing witness to some beautiful celebrations. And, you know, when you are ready to give yourself to this new experience, you're not going to look back. I feel like it's going to open up a whole new world for you, literally. You know, new people, new energies coming in, new ideas, just new possibilities of what you think is achievable for you, you know. Page of Air, look how she's just outstretched with her wings here. And it's just like the conversations feel stimulating and progressive. And you're really coming into your own with regards to something. I also want to say in this 8th house energy, especially with that full moon in Sagittarius, it feels like there's a support and a sense of being lifted up. There might be some unexpected abundance that flows in for you through the course of this month that, you know, was wholly not what you had on your radar, which is, you know, even nicer. It just feels like it comes in at a time when it will be most welcomed. It also just brings about a level of confidence, I think, that, you know, you can have a bit of faith and trust in the process of where you see something moving. Of course, we need to remember toward the end of the month on the 30th, we're going to see Neptune going retrograde. Now, what this does is sort of strips away the rose-tinted glasses, and where we've been sat in an energy of too much fantasy or illusion about the possibility of something in our world. You know, maybe we've been sitting, waiting, wishing, hoping for someone or something to materialize. And we get a bit of a reality check, and it can feel a little bit harsh, but at the same time, you know, I think you're certainly a sign that just welcomes and values the truth. It's just like, just give it to me. You know, I already had a sense that this was where things stood. And so I think you'll get a much more clear indication for yourself towards the end of the month as to what really still has some viability and whether it's still worth continuing that investment. And it's not, you know, anything that we want you to feel like put off by if you kind of feel like you're getting something that seems like it's dissolving, or, you know, all of a sudden it's not at all what you thought or expected it could be, because I think right on the heels of it, you're going to find something is about to reveal itself that is far better suited and matched for you. And there's like this sense of relief, I think, actually coming through when that happens, because you'll be like, wow, thank goodness I did not move in that direction. And this is what feels like me. This is what feels like I'm kind of ready. I think there's going to be some important conversations, of course, in that 8th house where we are connected or in agreements and commitments, especially where it does involve finances and resources with others. You know, so there's also something to kind of keep just an eye on, because I feel like, you know, there's some impulsivity going on with that Venus and Leo, and especially around that full moon in Sagittarius, where either you could agree to something or you end up being like overly generous and then again wishing like, why did I kind of give away so much? You know, why did I agree to something? You know, it might have sounded, you know, like the right thing in the moment to kind of get somebody on side or to just be able to move something forward. But again, like I said, that retrograde is going to come back and really surface and sort of have you look over things and perhaps realize, you know, with a little regret, actually, you know, I didn't need to give away or didn't need to commit or overstretch or overextend myself to that degree. Okay, so keep that in mind. So if you're new to the channel, Scorpio, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended version, talk for another 25 minutes to 30 minutes just to give you deeper insights. I'm going to go ahead and clarify the main reading now, though, just to see what possible direction and additional messages are going to be showing up for us in that extended reading. So just beginning with the Chariot, we have the Ace of Wands, lovely. This month, my soul journeys to support the soul stories, we're working on resisting the resistance around timelines, yeah, and we also have one supporting you with life changes. You can find the links in the comment and description box underneath. Go Queen of Swords. You'll also see all the links for all the decks that I use, and of course including Life Soul Vision, which is my oracle, and my new book Moon Musings, which is over on Amazon. So if you enjoy my work, please check out these creations. Okay, we've got the Knight of Wands. Oh, we'll take these both. Three of Cups, Page of Wands. Lots of pages showing up this month. Like I said, the conversations are significant. Yeah, you really feel like you're getting somewhere, finally, I think, in some areas that have perhaps felt slow to move. King of Wands, nice. And Queen of Wands. The Moon and the Well. This is an additional card in this particular deck. Asteroid Goddess energy is really shifting this month. Of course, we had Ceres moving into Libra on Solstice. And then the next day we have Juno coming into fellow water sign Cancer, and Vesta into Gemini. So you can check out the Goddess and Angel reports that I also create. Again, links in the comment and description box underneath, and they are personal to your natal chart. Right, let's have a look at the Life Soul Vision Oracle and see how this is going to bring through. You're just really having such profound self-realization, I think, of how far you've come. Recognizing perhaps that there are still some adjustments that you're going to need to make this month, and, you know, that's okay. And don't also worry, like, if you're coming up against some hot and cold situations, even if you yourself are feeling a bit hot and cold about something, just keep moving through and keep pursuing, and I think it will naturally come to a more clarifying place for you through the month, okay? We've got another full moon coming in there. I like the emergence of cosmic rebellion. Okay, let's have a look at the Enchanted Map Oracle. Lovely, magic stream. Okay, we're going to cover these messages in the extended. We also look at a personal question for you, and I usually do a relationship advice card as well for the month of June. Okay, finally an astrology card for Scorpio for June. What do we have? Oh, beautiful. The energy of the sun. Interesting that they're both number 18 as well. Okay, I will see you on the extended if you are joining me there. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Have a beautiful month of June. Take care, and I'll see you again next time.